The University Tower chimes ring in another session of Ask the Professor, the show on which you match wits with the University of Detroit Mercy professors in an unrehearsed session of questions and answers. I'm your host, Matt Mayo, and let me introduce to you our panel for today. To my left, clearly doing research based on poetry and or lyrics, it's Prasad Venugopal.
The time has come, the walrus said, to talk of many things. Of shows
Shoes
and
and
questions
chips
and
and
Reese's
sealing
Pieces and cream cheese cookies and things.
Cream cheese.
There you go.
And Beth
Made
and
it
I
up
were
on the
trying to
spot.
actually
Uh-huh.
complete the
Yes.
poem, you
Right.
know?
Nice
Ships and sails and sealing wax.
Lewis Carroll.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lewis Carroll, that's right. Very well done.
One of my
So,
favorite poems.
yeah, so you actually looked up
I had to
Walrus
look
and
it
the
up.
Carpenter?
Mhm. Absolutely. The Walrus and the Carpenter is one of my favorite poems. It's the best.
It is. It's awesome. Although I did take a picture of my TV when it was on, the Disney version.
You
of it,
sent that
and
to
I
me.
texted it to you, and you're like, what the heck is your problem? What is this madness? And I'm like, it's the Walrus and the Carpenter. Come on. Oh, my gosh. Someone who obviously knows how to recite the rest of that poem, Beth Oldjar, is also here with us today.
I am here.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure.
That's right.
Are you sure you're not an AI that's just making $1,000 a day?
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure. Okay.
Not
Drew
sure
would
I
know.
can be certain.
Drew
would know.
though. Drew would know. That's
right.
not actually obviously true.
So now I'm wondering.
Usually.
Now I'm wondering. There's got to be like a really good spin-off, like special topics philosophy class. You go to Sports Illustrated. You say, "We think that you have AI writing your article." Well, that's not true at all. It was this person, but that thing is a made-up AI. Well, so what we told you was true from a certain point of view. Like, I mean, it's getting completely out of control, right?
Sounds like the Turing test.
Yes. There we go.
Right?
Yes.
So we should be able to. You shouldn't be able to tell if it's a computer or a human. I never can remember how that test goes.
Right. Exactly.
Well, the
But we
test
know
was
what you mean.
designed to find out whether you could distinguish between
Right,
a computer
right,
and a
The
human.
human.
But
and,
you couldn't, right? That was the
That was
his
the point.
was
That's-
you couldn't.
Yes.
Well,
do
now
that.
at this point, I
So
think it's just
machines can
reversed.
think,
Yeah.
right? That was the
Yeah.
okay.
That's
I think
the-
at this point it's reversed. Can you actually detect a human from a computer? It's the other way around.
Caramba.
I
Sounds
don't
like
know.
the conversations I've been having with my students lately.
Uh-oh. Because they're like AIing it up?
It's
Indeed.
The English
ChatGPT.
department meeting was
Oh,
almost
no.
fully devoted to talking about this.
Man.
Oh no.
Are you discussing AI or are students using AI to cheat?
The latter.
I hesitate to say this because people who listen and know me will be able to loop it back, but I may or may not have received a recent missive from a local high school. And we've got some problems, Matt. We want to know what Detroit Mercy is doing with regard to AI and writing. We have evidence that some of our top students were using it for a term paper. So I just fired back one sentence. Your students have been using it for almost 100% of their work for the last 5 to 6 years. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, let's get together and have coffee.
You're a little late to the game by now.
Yeah.
Out of control. But before we get to that, because I want to hear about this faculty meeting, Professor Stephen Manning is here with us. He's just sort of like nodding and smiling knowingly from
I
the
don't
point of
have to
view of
worry about it.
retirement.
That he
Yes,
doesn't
I'm
have to
thinking
go to
that
Must be
faculty
nice.
meetings.
to be rid of all this is just
Yeah.
so
It must be very refreshing.
so liberating.
And he spends his mornings enjoying the New York Times, which he knows not whether it was written by a person or...
Oh,
He's just doing the crossword, that's all. Right?
well, it's
Which
true.
is definitely put
Exactly.
together by...
Well,
software.
actually, when my carrier actually delivers the New York Times
Oh,
that
right.
I prepay for,
Yes.
Mhm.
as opposed to on a morning like today, I open up the beautiful blue bag that starts my day,
Yeah.
and it's the Detroit Free Press, not the New York Times.
Oh dear.
Which means I have to make some phone calls and find
Oh,
out what the hell he's
jeez.
doing and
Oh,
how
jeez.
difficult is this. I used to have a route when I was 10 years old. I never gave people the wrong paper.
Yeah.
Hello.
This is the Clausen Shopper. It pretty much is the same as the New York Times, just a couple different writers.
But to this guy's credit, he urges me not to call the office, the
Right.
800
He
number,
wants to
because he
take
gets
it.
in trouble, and he says, "I will bring you a paper." And he's previously said he ran out. They didn't give him enough. I said, "Well, how are you going to bring me a paper if you ran it?"
That's what I
You go
love.
buy a
He
new
went to
one.
the store and he bought a paper with his own money and came by the house and he delivered it.
Well,
Good for him.
Even as somebody who
Eating the
delivered the
cost.
newspaper, I did the same
So-
too. If I ran out of papers, if I was short, I used to go up to the box, drop a quarter in, and take however many papers I needed.
of course,
Yeah.
of course.
Well, this is now the daily edition is like $3, which is probably what he makes the whole week.
Yeah,
delivering these
$3
papers,
for
so-
that skimpy thing. Ugh.
So
No, not the Free Press, the New York Times.
It's
Right.
still
Yeah.
thin compared to what it was.
Compared to what it was, yes.
So Heather Hill, you're obviously here as well. I mean, without tipping the hand too much, I mean, how did the general conversation go at the faculty meeting about AI and writing?
I'm not a cop.
Well, yeah, to some extent. Well, the dean was there too, so we were expressing our
Wow.
concerns, and we don't really have a solution at this
Wow.
point. Yeah,
Wow.
but it's exhausting,
Yes, it is.
so.
Oh my.
In other words, they just went aye.
It's very.
This
That was a
guy
dad joke,
over here.
100%.
No, it's
terrible.
it's a terrible
very terrible.
situation.
I love it.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Terrible
Prasad,
situation.
this is serious. This is serious stuff here.
I know. I give my students papers to write, and I've already had my share of AI-driven, ChatGPT-written
And then,
papers.
yeah,
How do you discover it, though?
There's tells.
Yeah.
there are tells.
Because actually, what I did was I gave it the prompt, and I gave ChatGPT the prompt 5 times and got 5 answers, and then I compared it with the answers.
Oh,
and
I
sooner
see.
or later,
Okay,
it
I
just
get
starts
it. I
repeating
get it.
itself. And the great thing about ChatGPT, it just absolutely lied. Because the first time it told me, having read the book, here's my answer. And then the second time, having not read the book, that was about 5 seconds later, having not read the book, here's my answer. So I got both answers.
Okay.
It's very, the answers tend to be very vacuous,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
also sometimes that, not, actually quite frequently, they'll get information
Details
from.
of the story's wrong.
That's-
Actual facts, yeah.
that's-
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Could I finish my sentence, people? Yes, they get details of the stories wrong, and sometimes they even make up quotes that aren't in the stories.
Yes.
So you can sit the student down and say, "Where'd you get this?" "Oh, it's in the story." Well,
Show me.
yeah, exactly. But it used to be once upon a time that students would be quite contrite and maybe even start to cry, males as well as
Flogging.
females. But now
It's shameless.
it's shameless.
Oof.
So yeah.
I was going to say our mutual acquaintance from another institution has told me, who is employed as a librarian, he's getting a lot of students coming in like, please, 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 can you help me find these sources that I cited in my essay? And he's like,
Wrong way,
wow,
wrong way.
this is not reverse engineering.
Way
Isn't
around.
that
And
crazy?
then it's like, guess what?
I
These
know.
don't exist.
These
I
don't
know.
Yeah.
exist.
But on a
Nice.
much more positive note, I planted 400 flower bulbs
Hey,
yesterday.
really?
Good.
Wow.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, see, I have a blister on my palm,
Nature marches on.
which is better than getting blisters from
That's right.
reading
The whistle
papers.
And the blisters
The
from
flowers.
AI are the worst.
What were the flowers?
Oh, daffodils and tulips and allium and hyacinths.
Nice.
All the spring ones.
I still have 250 to plant.
Oh my gosh.
I know, I ordered way too. I ordered 700 bulbs.
Well, I'm guessing that you woke up
Only?
a few mornings ago and you're like, crap, the wind chill is 7. Now I feel like I'm behind. But
I-
it's only November.
I was,
right?
well,
So
I was really behind, so that's why I finally just started and
Time to
wanna-
get going.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Okay, well,
Spring,
You know,
spring.
it's hope eternal. What
Hope,
can I
spring,
say?
spring's eternal.
That's
Something
right.
to that
Yeah,
effect.
sounds good.
I think I'm getting stupider because I'm reading all of these vacuous.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway.
That's too bad.
Enough.
Jim Tubbs is across the microphone. I can
Yes.
barely make him out.
Looking through the web of microphone stalks.
Chords, how are you doing, Jim?
Good, good.
Oh, okay, so
And I don't have to go to faculty meetings.
that's just mean.
That's
That's just mean.
lucky you.
Rub it in.
It's okay though. It's
And
okay.
you don't have
that
to
you
grade
don't have to go.
any. Well, you do
Oh,
grade.
no, he does.
You
yeah.
does.
Oh,
do
yeah.
grade.
I'm
Sorry.
still teaching.
Yes,
I just
you're
don't
still
have to
teaching.
go to
You just don't have
faculty
faculty
meetings.
Why are you still teaching?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, I kind of like it.
Community service.
AI might change that, but
No, I mean I like teaching too, but I don't know for the amount of money you make as
well,
an adjunct.
that's true.
I mean,
That's true. It's a labor of love.
It's a labor of love. It's like tithing.
Right, right. Professor Aaron Bell is here with us, and you're teaching some freshman comp, right? So, do you have a
Yes.
perspective on the writing of AI?
You know, someone said to me, well, why don't you just have them write essays in class, handwrite? And that's like, I guess, a stopgap. But to me, the larger question is the plagiarism, the academic accountability and honesty, and none of that works in an online class. I suppose I could use one of those browser, lockdown browser, and have them maybe type up an essay. But that's just, again, I didn't get into this field to be a detective or
Yes,
a
exactly.
Exactly. way. So, and not to go off on too much of a tangent, but I don't like having to accuse people of things when I know in my gut, but how do you even start that conversation? Like, I know this isn't you. I can tell you used all these like pithy phrasings that just aren't in your emails that you
And
send me.
pompous phrases.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Pompous
That's what I just
phrases
like.
that say nothing.
Right.
You're an intro to philosophy student, and you start using the word ontological.
Right, right.
Absolutely.
No way.
Tell me
Absolutely.
what that means.
Define that for me.
Exactly.
I'm still
Yeah,
working
thank
on
God
that
I read-
one, you know?
Yeah, a word I still
But
do not
Aaron's
understand.
absolutely right. The larger situation here is what's
Yeah.
so disturbing.
Right.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
you know, why they think this is appropriate.
Right.
And at some level, I think they do think it's acceptable.
I'm gonna have a Blackboard tutorial with some of you guys, because I don't even know what some of these mechanisms are for, I don't understand
There are
how
a
they
great
work
many.
in Blackboard.
There are
so.
a great many.
We have,
Yes.
a
Way
culture,
too many.
we have a culture where we are encouraged to admire people who can get away with whatever they can get away with.
Yeah, of
Sure.
course.
And people who don't do this
Yeah.
are suckers and chumps.
Absolutely.
You know,
would we
I mean,
have
that
done
rubs
that?
off.
This show should really, the ratings for this show would really be top over there. I can see it. I'm sorry, Burroughs family. We did better in the last show.
So much for the entertainment.
So much for the entertainment.
Entertainment.
Dave Chow is here, and I mean, I'm not
See
trying to
people
drag it
changing
down
the
further,
station,
but
No,
I
but-
saw a funny picture the other day where they typed into the AI art generator, like, make Masters of the Universe figures out of Muppets.
And you can.
And they were, you know, pretty
And
entertaining.
they're amazing. I mean, I've actually had, I know for a fact, my artwork's been skimmed already.
Oh, I would guarantee.
gosh.
And the thing is, what's scary about it is, you know, CCSS recently had an open call as far as, for people to discuss it. Because Disney's using it, big business is already using it.
Yep.
There's no, I mean, I literally had one of my students, we typed in 6 storyboard panels, asteroid hitting the Earth, and the next thing you know, it spit out storyboards tighter than what I could draw in
Yeah,
10 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's like, I know for a fact, just based upon my own income this year, I've probably lost at least a third of my income because there are people out there using AI to do their artwork. They
Yep.
don't have to hire me anymore. So I sent a thing off to Heather. They're talking about how in the future, because if we can't fight it, how English majors who know how to type in proper prompts could be ahead of the curve.
Right. Oh,
So
that's
if you know
good.
how to type in a prompt, you can be an artist or a musician or whatever.
Wow.
But your stuff is considered intellectual property, right? Just like,
It's like the way I equate it to is like having musicians having their music sampled. How do I prove that Jim Tubbs?
That's objectionable too. for the
Exactly.
same
But the
reason.
only saving grace is if you produce artwork via AI, it's not copyrightable.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So if you produce a piece of artwork for, say, your ad, it's not yours necessarily.
Well, that's right.
So that's the only saving grace
Oh
that I
man,
have.
this we have struck a nerve here. We might have
yeah.
to have like a separate tributary of the show that's all like
Ask
super
the Nervous
serious.
Professor show.
Hiba, I don't want to put the weight of the world on your shoulders, but can you lighten the mood in here just like a little bit? Or
Armpit haunt, do something.
Solve the Chat GPT.
Can you just solve that
problem
problem
for us.
for us?
See, hi. I feel horrible because what I'm gonna say is gonna go back to the ChatGPT. Before I came in, I inputted a prompt for an assignment, and I asked it how does it sound, and it gave me suggestions for improvement. So there is hope, right? I know that we want to step away from ChatGPT. I think that there'll be a time when we can balance the good and the bad,
Right.
which
Yeah.
it just is a field of itself, and I think it's gonna become better. It's a good
It's
tool.
awkward. It's awkward.
Exactly. It's awkward now. It needs to improve and grow, and we just have to give it room to grow because it can be a powerful tool.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I also think
Still in
back,
the
like,
same mood.
like when I was in art school, we were still analog. And then all of a sudden the computers came along. People who are inking drawings are no longer inking. Now you go to Adobe Illustrator, you can draw a straight line, and you never have to get your hands dirty. So I've lived through one massive transition in my industry. So this
There
could
you
be the
go.
next
Another one, yep.
next evolutionary step.
Well, I read about composition professors actually using ChatGPT. I mean, telling the
Of
students
course.
to use it, and then bring it to class.
Yeah,
Then
show
we're
us.
going to work on how you edit. How you critique what's there and try to figure out what's better, and they do that in class.
yeah, sure.
I've dabbled. I think the risk with that, though, or at least my feeling risky, is like now is that giving them the green light to say, oh, well, I liked how I liked how it helped me type up the outline. Let's just push it a little further. But I have because I also want them to know that I know, and I brought in some examples and told them how utterly miserable and it failed because to show them that it fails sometimes at things because I don't want them to use it, but I have to have the conversation that I know,
Yep.
It's
That's
out
right.
there. Yeah.
Ooh, Mara Livesey. We've gone all the way around the table. what could we possibly add to the mix here?
I've never used ChatGPT, and I
Me neither.
don't plan on it,
Okay,
honestly.
there we go.
I like to write my own stuff. I like to not learn too much about what's out there in
Okay.
AI land. So
Okay.
But do you make your students write papers?
they don't write papers. They write kind of short responses that ChatGPT would do a poor job of answering.
Right.
So when you
So,
write your
yeah.
own stuff, you're also continuing to learn.
Yes.
You know,
That's
And
exactly
that's-
right.
I try to teach my students the value of that, right? Like,
Writing is part of thinking and
yeah,
creating.
absolutely.
That's right.
Communicating.
That's right.
ChatGPT can't help you
Organizing
talk to your
ideas.
patients when you're a dentist, you know?
Right.
Discernment.
I mean, I hope it doesn't come to that point.
Yeah, I'm
Hopefully.
not so sure about
Oof.
that one.
I went to, well, I did a Black Friday shopping with my dad at Menards, and of course we're one of 10 70-year-old men waiting to get the special on the generator. I mean, that's just the way it was. And I'm walking around the store,
I
and
can
they've
totally
got
I've got
picture
this
this.
mental image.
Me too.
Yeah.
Why do you have to mention the age?
They had the robot that goes around the store cleaning the floor, and it's 6 feet tall. So I was eye to eye with it, and it waits for you to walk by before it comes around, and I'm just sort of like,
That's creepy.
yeah, not at all.
Wall-E.
Generation
The
X has
Wall-E
never made a movie or a story based on stuff like that going crazy before, have we? It was just nuts. I have to say though, I've used ChatGPT once.
Yeah.
I asked it to write a biography for myself, and it very quickly responded with, "Don't know who Matthew J. Mayo is." So I'm like, there you go. That's what'll be on my tombstone.
Ooh, I'm gonna try that. But the one time I used it was for short answers.
Yeah.
And it spewed out some pretty decent short answers
I
that
bet
my
it did.
students would be very
I
tempted
bet it did.
to respond to.
Ooh, we definitely have struck a nerve. We'll have to have a tributary podcast about academic integrity and AI. But today, this is a program where you can send us questions regarding anything. If you stump the panel, you win a prize. If you don't stump the panel, you win
And
a
a
prize.
certain amount of artificial intelligence happening right here.
Exactly.
Yes,
lack
very
of
well.
Folks, you can send us the questions in a number of ways. You can email us at atp@udmercy.edu. Find us on Facebook and Instagram, or listen on your favorite smart speaker by asking it to play Ask the Professor at University of Detroit Mercy. So, Michael, I saved the Christmas questions we got sent for this show. Seems like we're going to do a little gear shift, but who cares? Dear Profs, we heard your call for Christmas questions. So here's a quickly written submission of 10 Christmas movies. They're all old ones because the Upper Peninsula is very behind.
That was very good.
We're giving you the plots and the names of some of the actors. You need to name the movies. 7 out of 10 is passing. Sometimes people send questions and they give us the grading rubric. Good luck. We think some of these are quite hard. Ooh.
Okay.
Marilyn Bachoric and Dennis, of course, in Munising, where we're already freezing our butts off in the Upper Peninsula. Yes.
Nice.
So the man who grew up in Medicine Hat, he's like, come on,
Chump change.
chump change. A Country Life magazine food writer who pretends to be a talented homemaker, think Martha Stewart, suddenly has to pull off a fabulous traditional Christmas dinner for a soldier and the magazine's publisher. Whew.
Where's that artificial
Dennis
intelligence when we
Morgan,
need it?
Sidney Greenstreet, and S.Z. Sakal, he's Carl from Casablanca, also involved Barbara Stanwyck. This is a Christmas classic. I
Christmas
gotta
in
say.
Connecticut?
It's Christmas in Connecticut. Oh my gosh, how do you know
Good
that?
job, Jim.
That's incredible.
Jim just sang the lyrics in his head.
Barbara
figured it out.
Stanwyck was what.
The Big Valley?
Stanwyck,
Yeah.
yep.
Wow.
Well, that's what keyed it in.
Mm-hmm. Just before Christmas, a department store clerk notices a customer buying an expensive electric train and spots her as a commercial spy. Instead of reporting her, he lets her go, which gets him fired. Also, when she brings the train home, her son thinks it's for him, opens it, and breaks a piece. Now it can't be returned. Confusion, trouble, and romance ensue. Robert Mitchum, Wendell Corey, and Janet Leigh in... You gotta be kidding me.
I broke the train.
Wow.
Mama, I broke the train. No, that's perfect. That's absolutely
It
perfect.
wasn't my fault.
I don't even know how to...
Uh-oh.
Oh, you were talking about Mandy Patinkin and
Streisand.
Barbara Streisand.
Right.
You said that Mandy Patinkin asked Barbara Streisand to have an
Affair.
affair.
An affair to remember?
A Christmas affair?
Close enough. It's Holiday Affair is the name.
Holiday affair.
That is.
Confusion, trouble, and romance.
It doesn't
I'm
give
gonna
the.
watch
It
this
doesn't give
later.
the.
I'm
It doesn't
A
give.
trashy Christmas.
I actually want that on my tombstone now.
It doesn't give the years to these films.
You know, there's that information
No
is
films.
not available. Injured and stuck in a small town, a wealthy, meddlesome man alienates his hosts and almost everybody else, including his indispensable secretary. I've actually seen this one. Jimmy Durante, Ann Sheridan, Billy Burke, Betty Davis, and Monty Woolley in
Monty Woolley?
very, very well-known...
The Man Who Came to Dinner?
The Man Who Came to Dinner. Yes, very well done.
Wow.
A shell-shocked soldier and a convict out
My
on
Christmas Soldier?
No, but that's great.
Thank you.
On Christmas furlough, meet on a train as they help each other heal their romance blooms.
Wow.
Joseph Cotton, Shirley Temple, Spring Byington, and Ginger Rogers in...
Strangers on the Train Part 2.
Throw Shirley Temple from the
The
train.
happy version.
Because the first one is one of my favorite movies of all time. I
Did
love it.
that piece of the train get broken off and that one?
Oh man, there's just no way. There's just no way.
No.
It's I'll be seeing you. I just...
Sure.
Oh my god.
Impossible.
Some of these...
They need an AI for that title.
No, seriously.
Lame. Lame.
I can't believe how close these are. I may or may not have brought up in recent memory that I can't help myself now with all the Hallmark clones. Like I'm flipping channels and I stop and Leslie's like, "What the heck is your problem?" I'm like, "I gotta see what the plot is." She goes, "You already know the plot. It's a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
A woman moves from New York City back to her small town.
Yes,
You know,
I know,
da, da,
I
da,
said
da,
that.
da.
But now a
There was
lot of
one
them
there when I was waiting.
involve royalty
Yeah.
too. Christmas and
Oh,
royalty
yeah.
That
together.
is true.
A
Oh
woman
man.
is battling some terminal disease, right? There's your other Hallmark
Oh,
option.
there you go.
to
There you
be-
go.
By the way, they
Is there
stole
an
that.
AI
They
movie?
stole that whole thing from Bollywood movies.
No,
Because
100%.
Bollywood
Bollywood,
movies have
for
had
sure.
like
100%.
2 storylines for the last 75 to 100 years.
No,
That's what I should have
absolutely.
said was my favorite type of music.
Bollywood?
Bollywood.
Oh,
Bollywood
Musicals,
music
musicals.
Music from Bollywood.
Christmas music, Jim.
With the
Jolly
help
Bollywood.
of a new assistant, a man learns that the love of his wife is more important than his ambitious dreams. With David Niven, Monty Woolley, James
Monty
Gleason,
Woolley.
Cary Grant, and Loretta Young.
Oh, I used to love Loretta Young.
It's a very, very
My wife's-
well-known
my wife-
title.
Yes,
at
yes,
least.
yes. I've seen this movie.
Miracle on
Well,
34th
not Holiday Inn.
No,
What's
no,
the one I'm thinking
no.
of?
It's like Cary Grant. Doesn't he play some sort of a?
Bringing up baby.
That's the only
No,
one I know.
That's a good
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
So this movie
Oh,
is...
crud.
Is it got a name in it?
No.
No.
It doesn't. Well, I mean, it might, because I believe it's a play on words. It's The Bishop's Wife.
The Bishop's
That's
Wife.
right,
That's
Bishop's
it.
Wife.
Oh,
Yes.
I just saw that.
You could have just said, "It sounds like a Canterbury Tale,"
Okay.
and that would have been enough.
Yeah.
I am not that smart. I'm just...
His AI isn't working.
Yeah, my AI isn't working. Hold on. Okay.
Let's not joke about it.
Oh my word, this is a Christmas movie?
Another Monty Woolley?
No, even better. 3 prisoners escape from Devil's Island. They intend to rob a store for clothes and hop on a ship, but instead they remain to help the shop owners with their financial troubles.
The Dan Maggio
Peter
story.
Ustinov, Basil Rathbone, Humphrey Bogart in...
Sherlock Holmes does Christmas.
Basil Rathbone?
Basil Rathbone.
Not Treasure of the Sierra Madre.
So the title, this is the best I could do, the title of the movie I'm looking for
The Yuletide
Was-
Stooges.
represented by the fake gangster movie that he watches in Home Alone. You remember it's called Angels
Yeah.
with Dirty Souls? That was a totally made up movie. That's not real. And
Angels
the
with
word,
Dirty Faces?
I mean, Angels is in the title.
Oh.
You've heard the title before, but it's just
Angels on the Land.
Trouble with Angels?
Angels on the Land.
Charlie's Angels.
We're No Angels.
Oh.
Here's the title. We're no. These are just
That is actually
absolutely brutal.
We
These
are
just
not doing
brutal.
well.
We are on the
We are
road.
not
70%?
passing.
You got to be kidding
We
me.
are circling the
I'm
drain.
gonna have to take the final
Clockwise
exam.
and
Sorry,
counterclockwise.
Professor Lindsay. Oh my gosh! I'll tell you what. We need a little bit of a palate cleanser. Those are really, really tough, but they were very, very good.
Was that it? Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Phew.
Let's take a look at some questions that were sent in by Brandon Manuzak, who took Beth's intro to philosophy back in 2021, because that's how many questions I still have to get through.
Nice.
Detroit sports history.
Oh boy. Okay,
That's
this
out of
name
the way,
is like
yep.
utterly.
It's done.
I
What
don't recognize.
Was
it.
the last year the Lions won the NFL championship but not the Super Bowl?
57?
68.
1957. 1957.
Okay.
There was no Super Bowl then.
That's right. How many Detroit Tigers are in the Baseball Hall of Fame?
Oh wow.
No,
No,
a lot
no,
more.
Many.
23.
Many? Partial
Yeah.
credit.
23?
You said 23, it's 27. I mean, that's really, that's
Give it to
awesome.
him.
Yeah.
Is Jaime Manouche one of them?
Not yet.
No. What year was the Malice at the Palace when the players left the game and went into the stands and
93?
started beating on the
94?
fans?
2006.
2006 is really close. It was 2004.
That's
yeah.
so Detroit, though.
It's absolutely.
I remember that.
Absolutely. Malice at the Palace is
Yeah, it
sports
was pretty.
That's a good game to be
No,
at.
it was yeah.
Bone jarring.
Just to see from the other side.
FYI, Palace doesn't exist anymore.
Correct. It was
Yes.
close to that end.
There are many different correct answers to the question of where the Tigers played Major League Baseball before Comerica Park.
Briggs, Tiger Stadium, Navin Field.
It covers all the bases, yep. Including the same Briggs family that endowed the building that we currently reside in. Mhm.
That was one of the,
Nice.
the families that was responsible for the Tigers being one of the last teams to integrate.
Well, they were the second to last in the
Lovely
for the
goals.
record.
Yeah,
Yes,
second
they
to
were.
last.
Yes, the
So-
Briggs family.
That's the Briggs family.
What is
Why
the
we still name the building after them is a
Great
very
question.
They paid
That
for it.
is, yeah.
Well,
Money talks.
you want to find us a donor to, we
Oh,
can rename the building?
It's not about donors. It's
Prasad
about
is
racism.
pledging that if you raise his salary to $12 million,
He'll
he will
gladly
immediately donate
donate
to make the Venuga Ball, humanities. and
I
social
wouldn't name it
science.
after Venuga Ball.
the Venuga
We
Dome.
got some skeletons in our family too, but
Professors, what's the Red Wings mascot? Be very careful.
Ooh.
A red
A
wing.
puck.
No, it
It's
was.
like, isn't it like some kind of like
It was like a cousin.
auto like type?
Oh, it's a
It's a
wheel.
wheel.
It's a
It's a
wheel.
wheel
The
with flames.
tire.
But I remember they had the.
But that's
It's a
not,
hub-
There's a guy
That's
dressed
not
up
the
as a
mascot.
I
falcon.
mean, octopus.
It's an octopus.
Yeah.
Of course, it's
Yeah.
an octopus.
That's why they throw the octopus.
that's right.
Yes.
Thank you for that answer. I
I
didn't even
never.
think
I
about
just
it.
thought it was a weird thing we did.
Which
We
are now
like-
I was like,
banned,
am I
banned
totally
during
off base because
playoffs.
everyone's saying like,
Absolutely, absolutely.
the answer.
So
I haven't even thought of the
I was actually at LCA for the game versus the Blackhawks last night. It's the first time I've been to a big thing like that besides the Tigers game since the pandemic. And I'm with somebody who's a big hockey fan but doesn't know a lot about the Red Wings. So they've got these great projections for the ice. And
yeah.
as the players are coming out, there's the shadow of an octopus swimming under the ice. And he's like, what the heck
Wow.
is that? I'm like, let's explain.
Well,
Where did that
I don't know if
come
you've
from?
also noticed that they've stopped.
Tell you later.
They've stopped with the purple octopus, naming it Al because Al got fired too.
Yeah, he got
So-
fired. Al Sabota got fired.
And, and the lawsuit that's ensuing is going to be tricky. So.
Nope, that's right. That's exactly right.
Huh.
What was the Detroit Pistons' nickname during the late 80s and early 90s?
Bad boys.
Bad Boys. Yes.
I was going to go
That's
Portsmouth,
exactly
but
what
that's
it
a little too
was.
far.
Got one
Nice.
in 45.
Will you stop?
Nobody's
Feel free to come back anytime.
Physics question. Jeez.
Light. The answer was
Bad.
light. We
Bad light. I was like, it's either matter or energy. Go.
Why does something show up as green as a red? It's light.
Yeah.
Parsecs.
100%. In what year did the Tigers last win the World Series?
84.
1984.
Yes.
Sad.
Stole my pen.
The Red Wings played in the beginning of the 2021 season. This team, who just so happened to have the general manager, that was an ex-player who is now their general manager. Who is that? What team was that? I told you.
Holland?
Tampa
I'm so
Bay.
sorry.
Steve
It's
Eiserman.
Tampa Bay. Yeah, Tampa Bay
Oh, okay.
Lightning. I'm so sorry I screwed that up.
I didn't even understand the question.
I understood what you were asking. I got it.
Thank you.
I don't either.
Thank you. I think it's the sweat dog.
It's a syllogism. No.
Oh my god. All right. Which Detroit Tiger recently hit his 500th home run?
Whoa. Miggy?
Mickey.
Yeah,
Miguel
Miguel
Cabrera.
Cabrera, absolutely,
Wasn't that
absolutely.
recent?
That'll be
No,
number
it wasn't.
28
I
in the
know.
Hall of Fame on the next
Somebody
ballot, I
else?
hope.
Okay.
But yeah, you all did. You did
We
pretty
almost-
well
we
for
almost
Detroit
won that.
sports history there.
Yeah, we
Hit
did.
498.
No,
Nice. Thanks, Brandon, for
Well, you know, the
Sounds in.
Tigers were Magnum PI's team. Don't you remember?
100%.
Tigers had them.
I watched a couple of the
3,000 hits,
remake
too.
episodes, and I'm like, there at least has to be a nod to it, and there was nothing with the
No,
Tigers.
no hat.
The original
Sacrilege.
show is so good.
Kind of sad because Leslie was trying to draw me in. She's obsessed. Well, she was obsessed with the new Hawaii Five-0. She liked all the actors on it, and it's like, oh, it makes it feel like we live in Hawaii. I'm like, not so much, but you know.
Go out and shovel the
People in Hawaii
driveway.
hated Jack Lord,
Oh
actually.
no, I remember hearing
wrote
that. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, oh, professors, I'm so sorry. It looks like we are out of time.
But
So
not, but
the-
not heat.
But not
Not
heat.
heat.
No, we could
And I'm
mail
not
heat
even
to every
generating
one of
it.
our listeners, and we'd still be doing pretty good. But the time has come to say goodbye, Mara,
Goodbye.
Hibba,
Bye.
Dave,
See ya.
Aaron,
Goodbye.
Jim,
Goodbye.
Heather,
Bye bye.
Stephen,
Goodbye.
Beth,
Book 'em, Dano.
and Prasad.
Yo.
And now these
Yo.
words from University of Detroit Mercy.
You can email Ask the Professor at atp@udmercy.edu or visit the Ask the Professor Facebook page.
Ask the Professor is produced and directed by Michael Jason and Brian Masonville, and our executive producer is Professor Jason Roach. Until next week, I'm your host, Matt Mayo.